Oh, sure, DagGar. You do the intro. You don't do enough round here, so you can just start pulling your weight and do yet another thing. Little throat spray. Ah! I think that was hairspray. All right, I think I'm ready. Here we go. All right, my sneaky little listener. Time for a quick catch-up. 'Cause you blink once in this world, and suddenly we're buried under a city full of angry fur. Last time, yours truly led Cullen and Sharael to safety. Again! After a pack of werewolves decided we looked like a convenient snack. There was screaming, fireballs, dirt, and maybe a small amount of unintentional cuddling. Cullen almost suffocated, Sharael nearly got scalped, and I heroically fell on them both. You're welcome! Anyway, after all that tunnel digging nonsense, we ended up in some ancient dungeon. Lots of spooky glyphs, lots of dust, not enough snacks. Sharael started getting that far off, I'm gonna summon something I shouldn't look again. Always a good sign. Cullen's still pretending he's calm, but trust me, he's one bad dream away from chewing the hilt off that sword. And that brings us to now, Season 4, Episode 4. Ouch! Something like that. Oh, you'll love this one. We go deeper. Way deeper. Weird sounds in the dark, things moving in the stone, Sharael doing whatever she thinks is best. Don't ask me, she's weird. So stick around, my brave little listener. Stretch your claws, grab your courage, and maybe a lantern or three, 'cause it's time to get wiggy with it. Something's jiving down there. And spoiler, it ain't me. Also, I think Sharael likes Cullen. Don't tell her I said that. Or do. It'll be funny. Huh, that wasn't so bad.
Sharael Maldine. Down here in this, I don't know, dungeon, I find myself terribly distracted. DagGar insists on taking the first watch. Cullen looks at me like he's asking for approval. But not approval as in permission. I think it's more like something to make DagGar feel a more welcome part of our group. Whatever. Just having him away from us is probably the best thing for us. DagGar sits on the stone floor, flashing a horseshoe grin. I consider giving Cullen my "are you out of your mind" look, but I want this moment, maybe as much as I want success in our mission. Sure, DagGar. DagGar's grin widens, as if that's possible, and he trots off toward the door. Cullen stands and follows him. At first I'm confused, but of course, how would that little furball open the door? I unstrap my pack to lie out my bedroll. Frustration mounts as the thongs binding it seem tighter than ever. Why did I bother tying it back on so tightly? Cullen returns and has his bedroll set in a heartbeat. It irritates me how easily he handles such things while I fumble with everything. It all seemed so simple when I was just an observer. I've witnessed countless adventures. Knights riding into battle, justice served. It all seemed so romantic from a distance. But now, living it myself, it's exhausting. Where's the fun in it? I lie down, and Cullen does too. He closes his eyes and I can't help but stare at him for a moment before my own eyes close involuntarily. I try to focus on the Uokare Demonium Habentum, picturing the spell form and the contraptions I'll need to create. For a moment I can see it clearly. 2 circles, one within the other. The lines form. But suddenly I'm standing in green woods wearing a blue dress. I'm ankle deep in swamp water talking to my father. He berates me for my choices, for leaving him, for joining the circles. This conversation happened once, but never like this. I glance down at the dress. It clings to my legs, wet at the fringes, dragging through the swamp water. I trip and fall. The water is cold, dark, and dirty. I gasp, feeling it run over my body. I've never felt water before. I wake with a start. Cullen works at packing his gear.
I heard something earlier. We're not alone down here. Oh, also, there's a storage room that way.
He points down the hallway to the right.
Mostly old casks and sacks of flour. A good place for a privy, I think.
I try to focus on what he's saying, but my mind clings to the dream.
That door
He points to my left.
opens to another hallway. It's rougher than this one. I'm not sure if that means it's more or less used.
More, I think, suddenly noticing that DagGar is nowhere to be seen.
He's gone to have another look around. Been gone nearly half an hour. He stayed on watch the whole time.
As if on cue, a faint scratching comes from the door. Cullen stands, moving quietly toward the sound. His light dims, casting the hallway in near darkness. A scratch comes again, followed by the soft sound of the door opening and closing. Cullen returns with DagGar trailing behind. Together once more, Cullen crouches beside me, while DagGar sits between us, his eyes gleaming.
It's a maze! So many options I nearly got lost! Orcs everywhere, hallways torn apart, tunnels added, crews using picks and awls to break the glyphs. They're turning it into a hive!
A hive?
Yeah! An orc hive! They'll pick a spot for their queen to lay eggs, and another to stash all the cool stuff they steal. Then they'll start building traps and defenses, if they haven't already. No rhyme or reason, of course, because where's the fun in that?
Traps. What kinds of traps?
Oh, the usual. Rolling boulders, swinging blades, farting frogs, screaming goats.
Why traps, though?
That's what they do. They protect their treasure. This place will become their palace, and they've been at it for a while.
DagGar, I've never heard of an orc hive before. Is this something new?
Hells no! Orchines are a hoot. Been through two myself. Lost a leg in one.
Your leg?
Yeah, a nuisance anyway. Glad to be rid of it. Makes walking a treat.
Corbin, give me strength, I mutter, pressing a hand to my forehead.
Whatever blows your hair back.
I glare at him. Blows my hair back? That's what he says when I ask Corbin for strength. Cullen looks amused, of course.
Did you find a path for us to travel?
Plenty of paths. Too many to figure out right away. I'd say we're 2, maybe 3 levels below the temple. Oh, and the level below this one is flooded.
I remember my dad taking me here as a kid. We toured 2 of the levels. The guide said there were 10 known levels, with secret passages everywhere. Though no traps. That's new.
Most definitely new. I saw them setting one. A falling slab of stone, I think.
Great. More to worry about. So no easy way out?
Nope, nothing boring here.
Listening to that little furball makes me want to throttle him. But I know we need him. So, which way, DagGar? Can you lead us?
Oh yes, I can lead through this level. After that, who knows? We'll be in uncharted territory. I'll have to explore as we go.
All right, we need to get to the roof of the temple. That's where the thinning is. That's where I can perform the summoning.
I've been wondering about that.
Wondering what?
How do you plan on drawing the spell form?
His question sends a shock through me. I don't want to discuss it yet.
All those contraptions.
That's for me to worry about. We don't need to discuss it now. Let's just go. Cullen nods in agreement, and I'm relieved he doesn't fully grasp what DagGar is referring to. That could be trouble.
Ready?
Like the undercarriage of a rabbit.
Cullen hesitates at this, but eventually nods. Meanwhile, I scramble to get my things together, realizing I'm still sitting on my bedroll. I'm nearly ready when I feel a familiar urgency. Oh, Drit, the necessary. That's what Cullen meant earlier about the storage room. He sees the look on my face and already knows.
I'll take your pack and wait by the door.
I smile in thanks as he lifts my bag. As I hunch in the darkness, doing the necessary under Cullen's direction while knowing he's waiting on me makes it even more difficult. DagGar's question echoes in my mind. How am I going to draw the spell contraptions? The thought weighs heavily. Will I have the strength? The courage? The essence will be no trouble. But my body? I've never had to do anything like this before.
Cullen, Avon. My ear is pressed against the door, listening and waiting intently for any signs of movement on the other side. The darkness stretches behind, and I keep my eyes trained on it, waiting for Sharael's return. She's been gone a while, but I'm not worried. There's no danger in here. DagGar sits atop her pack, which leans against the wall.
She's a bit of a flibberty-gibbet,
He says, breaking the silence. You're calling her a flibberty-gibbet? I pause, then add, no, I don't think so. She has a childlike innocence I'll agree to. But then she seems to have...
Gas?
I haven't quite figured her out yet.
She lies all the time.
I know. I can see it in her eyes when she speaks them, when she hides things.
And?
It frustrates me, of course, but she has one thing that makes me tolerate it.
Bingo bells?
That's two things, and no, that's not what I mean. It's her authority. She's right in a way. She doesn't owe me the truth. She's my commander.
Oh. She's no more in command than that badger thing.
All right, but she is the authority.
So, does that mean you can forgive her? 'Cause that's the real question.
I look down at DagGar. What an odd thing for him to ask. Still, it makes me ponder. Not for the first time. Can I forgive her? It depends. Can she earn my trust?
Well, she's an emotional typhoon.
I nearly laugh at this. Hadn't I thought the same? Yes, there's that. But I like her.
You would. You're human. She's pretty well endowed as far as humans go.
Far down the hallway, a faint shadow moves at the edge of my vision. She's coming toward us, straightening her clothes. Despite it all, the deceit, the otherworldly stuff, I can't help but think it's part of a greater plan. The oath, a culmination of generations of dedication, all focusing on me. Everything I had wished for my whole life, we are actually doing. Something is happening, and it's far more incredible than I had imagined. Though I can't see it yet, I know it will be something important. I hoist her pack off the ground. DagGar jumps from her bag, freezing mid-jump in a sideways sort of diving pose before landing on all 4 feet. He has to perform in everything he does. Holding up her bag for her to slip over her shoulders, Sharael adjusts it with increasing grace. I put my ear back to the door. There's no sound, nothing, save for the girl behind me. I've paid special attention to our gear, ensuring it's rigged for silence. I've wrapped the buckles on our belts and packs with small strips of bandage. Anything that might make noise has been muffled. Our tinware, cookpot, kettle, and cups are stuffed and wrapped with clothes, bandages, and rope are on top. I really don't want to be heard in this place. We have muted our packs as much as possible, though unpacking them for anything other than essentials will be a challenge. I've examined the small crossbow that hangs from my side. Apart from the small butt grip, it's all encased in leather and will be quiet enough. I ensured it was loaded and placed it back in its holster, uncocked. With a quick yank on the lever, it could be ready almost as fast as my sword, and faster than any crossbow I have ever seen.
There are torches lit in many of the hallways. The orcs I've seen carry them as well. Your belt light does not flicker as torches do, and it's too white, so we will have to be aware of this, dimming it as needed, keeping the light from intruding on theirs.
I nod at this. I have played with the buckle's light, learning how to adjust the shutter to limit its fallout. For now, I have closed the buckle all the way. We are ready to depart, and I blindly put a hand on the door lever, lifting and pulling it toward me. The door is new, but it creaks and scrapes a little. This first hallway is not lit. The plan is for DagGar to peek out from his vantage on the floor and check to see if all is clear. He claims to be able to see in the dark, something I have not questioned. This level is riddled with small rooms, cells, and storage. When he said there were orcs everywhere, it turned out he had seen 3 orcs on separate patrols and only 2 defacement crews.
All right.
And I open the shutter on my buckle the smallest sliver. The light it creates is a faint aura that illuminates us as much as it lets us see the way. It is an odd light, surrounding us like liquid, filling in all nooks, folds, and crannies. We cast no shadows in this light, making for an uneasy feeling as we try to move with stealth. I can see about 4 meters ahead, just enough to keep DagGar's furry little bum in sight. He had discussed the routes he found, explaining that, as near as he could tell, half of this level is under development for the vault. He discovered 2 staircases leading up to the next level, one to the west, the other to the east. We are closest to the eastern stairs. Beyond that, he'd said, could be an army of Mung Ting, the little people of the lost continent of the North Pole, but it was doubtful. DagGar takes us the way we discussed, north at first, before turning east. The hallways are definitely under defacement, scraped and gouged, rubble on the floors, paths cleared for walking. In some places, large chunks of wall have been broken away, leaving holes big enough for an orc to move clumsily through to an adjacent hallway or room. I do my best to note every place we can retreat, every place we can hide or hold, but there is little defendable space. Perhaps a few areas have sufficient rubble to hide behind, but these are few. DagGar takes 2 turns, and the next stretch ends in a T intersection. To the west, 3 meters from where we stand, is a staircase leading down. I send a sharp psst toward DagGar, who is turned opposite the stairs. He skitters to a halt and turns back. I want to look down the stairs, just to know what is there. I motion my intent and move to the top of them. Sharael follows to stand beside me. At first, I can see nothing more than the steps leading downward. But as I slowly open my belt buckle, my light expands, revealing the depth. A pristine, glassy layer of water. 16, 17, 19 steps down, with a further 7 steps below its surface. This would make the water roughly chest deep. DagGar's hopping back and forth, eager to resume. I give him a quiet, all right. Adjust my belt buckle, and he takes the lead once more. We pass several larger passages, 2 of which connect to the west side, where distant flickering torchlight glows. Someone approaches. Metal keys on a ring, or some such, jangling. The deep knock of hard-soled boots against stone. DagGar skids to a halt, reversing course and taking us into a small dead-end hallway. It isn't my first choice for hiding. There is nothing to hide behind. We hunker down, leaving our weapons sheathed. I shutter the belt buckle closed, plunging us into perfect darkness. I remove the crossbow from its holster, lowering the grip and preparing to cock it. Despite its quiet cocking system, I don't want to risk the clicks being the device of our discovery. The footsteps grow louder. And singing? Maybe an incoherent hum. My stomach tightens as the mouth of the hallway brightens. Brighter, brighter. Then it dims. The footsteps diminish. The light fades, and the humming dwindles. I stand, my knees crackling as my legs straighten. I place the crossbow back in its holster and shutter the buckle open a crack. Sharael stands beside me, and DagGar has already crept up to the corner of the hallway, peeking around. DagGar takes the lead and we backtrack. I take Sharael by the hand, releasing it as we catch up to DagGar. We take several turns, and I wonder how in the hells DagGar remembers the path. I'm about to ask when we come to a door. DagGar turns and looks up at me with that big, stupid, toothy grin. He shrugs.
Don't remember this. I seem to be a tad turned around.
All right. Want to take us back until you get your bearings? DagGar nods and starts back the way we came. I act calmer than I feel. We are in the wolf's den. This is no time to be grinning. We turn once, and twice. I follow closely, fighting the urge to take Sharael's hand again. We come to another T intersection. One way leads to another staircase descending into water. The other, thank the stars, leads to a short hallway with stairs going up. I exhale in relief. DagGar wasn't as far lost as I feared. The floor jerks. I turn, knowing what has happened, but it's too late. Sharael follows too closely, and the floor gives way, a dead fall. The section beneath our feet doesn't just drop, it tilts, turning into a steep ramp. I attempt to jump back, but I lose all leverage as the floor disappears. Sharael screams, cut short by a grunt. I hit hard, sliding on the floor. My right hand, stretched to the limit, lands on gritty stone. My fingers catch a deep ridge. I hold on and come to a stop. Sharael is not so lucky. She landed on her pack, and as she attempts to right herself, she slides further down the incline, scrambling for purchase. Her hand slaps against my thigh, her fingers digging into my calf, and finally, snagging my boots. She screams a terrific scream. I must secure my second hand before I can look back. I shift, lifting my left hand and digging my fingers into the gap where the floor is hinged. I take purchase, steadying myself before glancing downward. Sharael is struggling. Below us, metal-tipped wooden shafts are arranged with deadly intent. We have triggered the deadfall in reverse. It was meant to defend against infiltrators, not those trying to escape. It is only this that has saved us from instant death. I glance up and DagGar slides bum first into my face. Using my head as leverage, the little creature turns, climbs over me, and onto my backpack where he rummages. I gasp with effort. I know there's a rope in there. Sharael is crying now. The sound of her pain cuts through me. It's not just fear. She's hurt. Badly. I grit my teeth, concentrating on my grip, and wait. DagGar scampers over my head, dragging one end of the rope in his mouth, his tiny claws scratching along my arms. How's he going to secure it? My fingers scream with pain. The tendons stretch to their limit. It feels like my hands will tear from my body. I try to shift, to find a better foothold. Anything to relieve the pressure. Carefully, I slide my free foot, feeling for purchase. My left toe catches the edge of a tile, a mere sliver of support, but it brings immense relief to my hands. Sharael's cries have dwindled into soft, uneven sobs. She mumbles something about her leg, and I know metal has met flesh. My arms are failing, my grip faltering, even with my makeshift foothold. Something jostles beside me, the rope. But how do I grab it? Releasing even one hand could send me plunging. DagGar slides backward, a brown blur flashing past with that stupid grin and wide, manic eyes. The rope twitches again, shifting. Sharael murmurs something weakly, and DagGar whispers small words I think are encouragements. The rope flips up over my back, pulling tight. DagGar's claws sink into my backside, but I don't even have the energy to yelp. He scrambles over me, claws catching on the edges of my armor.
You have to grab the rope now. She's secure. Don't worry.
I exhale in relief.
Except, I'm not very good at knots, so you may want to hurry.
A jolt of fear burns through me. I twist and grab the rope, my hands cramping. Now I see. DagGar has woven the rope around Sharael's arms, not a knot, but a tangle. Wrapped so many times it might hold, or it might slip. I have no choice but to trust it. Summoning every ounce of strength, I lift. My upper arms still have power, despite the agony in my hands. I slide up the incline, my legs pulling free of Sharael's grip. With a final heave, I haul myself onto solid ground. I turn back, preparing to pull her up, but, on my oath, the pitfall is massive, nearly spanning the entire hallway. Now that the trap has sprung, I can see a safe path clearly. A strip of flooring hugging the right side wall. Sharael dangles just above the waiting spears. Her left leg has fallen between them. Her right is impaled, a spearhead buried deep into her calf. I have no choice but to yank the rope. She screams as the spearhead resists. Then, with a sickening suction, it tears free. Blood spurts from the wound as I drag her up the slope, backpedaling, using my legs. dragging her onto the flat ground, gasping in pain. The distant sound of running feet, orcish squeals. They're coming. The noise echoes from ahead. The stairwell. That way is now cut off. The warnings are still distant. We have time to hide. I reach to lift her, but she fights me. Not fighting, struggling with her pack. She wants to take it off. She's right. Sometimes she has more sense than I do. The orcs are getting closer. I yank her pack free, my eyes locking on the wound. Blood wells from a 2 fingers width hole in her calf, slick and steady. Too much to ignore. We need to hide, but I can't risk her bleeding out before we do. I fumble with the pack flap, hands clumsy in my rush to find a bandage. She falls back against the stone, an arm draped over her eyes, weeping. You'll be all right. Don't worry. I'll take care of you. But the words mean nothing in this moment. Reflexive. Empty. I can't find the bandages. Shit. Our spare shirt will have to do. I grab the hem and tear, the fabric giving way easier than I expect. Old textile. Loose weave. It'll work. It has to. I've tended wounds before. Training accidents. Swordplay. Blunt weapons or not, injuries happen. But this is deep. The spearhead burrowed up into her calf, leaving the flesh gaping, bleeding freely. I press the edges together, forcing them to meet, working fast to keep the blood from pulsing free. I wrap the cloth, pulling it firm but not too tight, enough to hold, not enough to cut circulation. She'll need stitches. I have nothing for that. A needle, strands of her hair, if I had time, maybe. But the orcs are coming. They are searching the tunnels. Their own traps and deadfalls are slowing them down, buying us precious seconds. I glance at the rope still twisted around her. It will have to stay. I don't have time to untangle it. DagGar has been busy, unwinding the rope from Treacherous, which juts from a crack in the floor. My breath catches. That's what he secured us to? I yank the rope free, coiling it in frantic loops. I throw on my pack, then place the coiled rope across Sharael's stomach. I try to lift her, and her pack. Too much weight. Her pack. I have to take it, but I squat, loosening the shoulder straps before slinging the pack on top of mine. Quickly, I work my arms through the extra set of straps. Heavy thumps on the stairs. I cannot fight. I cannot run. I glance back. One orc, armed with a crossbow. DagGar. That's all I manage. I lean down, brace myself, and try again. Sharael's weight, plus both packs, crushes me. My legs tremble as I force them straight, muscles screaming under the strain. I move, steps stiff, unsteady, walking as fast as I dare. Every motion a battle to stay upright. One misstep and my knees will buckle. A heavy impact against my pack. Thud. I stumble, falling hard onto Sharael. She screams as I crush and roll her against the stone. The orc hisses and squeals behind me. I twist my head trying to see. The crossbow falls from its grasp. It drops to its knees. Something has happened, but the dim light makes it impossible to tell you. I have no time to think. Shuffling my packs into place, I gather the rope back onto Sharael's stomach and haul her up once more. Easier this time. My muscles are warmed. I move. Then, a faint glow ahead. Torches. Not one, but 2 or 3 orcs. Their voices, grunting, whining. They are not approaching with haste. Whatever sounds travel to their ears, they do not seem out of place. I hesitate, then turn to the hallway that leads to the stairs down, to the water. I take the steps hard, my boots landing with audible thunks. At the last step, I lay Sharael down, her body precariously perched. I let out a sputtering gasp with the relief. DagGar appears. His rictus grin relays the urgency. I hesitate. What happened back there? How did DagGar stop the orc? But it doesn't matter. DagGar sits one step above the water.
Easier to carry her. It's not very deep.
His voice is urgent.
Hurry! We need to hide!
Shit. I stand, adjusting the packs. Pick up Sharael. Turn, taking the first step down. Water laps at my boots. I move as soundlessly as I can manage, up to my knees, my hips, my chest, and disappear into the dark. The water isn't cold, it's almost warm. Walking along the hallway floor, the water is only chest deep and dimly illuminated by my buckle's light. The packs want to float, air trapped inside them. It'll take time for the water to seep through the oiled canvas, but not forever. Sharael takes a shuddering breath as I lower her into the water. She floats easily, and once she settles, her taut body finally relaxing. I lean her head against my shoulder, letting the warm, clear water support her weight. I push forward, slow but urgent. I'm careful. No splashing, no noise. Behind us, running boots, squealing voices. But no one comes down the stairs. Not yet. Not while we're still in view. The hallway turns once, then presents three choices: left, right, or forward. DagGar is perched on Sharael's pack.
Our best option is to find a way up, far from here. There should be stairs on the other side of this level. We'll have to wait it out. The orcs will be on alert for some time.
Right, I say, turning east. Hopefully they'll think we fled up the stairs trying to escape. DagGar doesn't reply. He doesn't need to. The water, though warm, still chills us. Shivering creeps in. I keep Sharael close as I can. She clings to me, pressing against my chest. Our shared heat barely enough to fight the cold. Her pale complexion unsettles me. I need to get her out of this water. Soon. We take turn after turn, finding flooded storage rooms, dead ends, and stairs leading deeper, exhausting every option before finally finding a way up. DagGar scampers up first, disappearing to scout ahead. When he returns, he's wearing that ridiculous searcher hat, pulled down like a burglar's mask. He peeks through the eye holes and whispers,
Incognito.
"What did you find?" He presses a furry front toe to where his lips would be, pondering.
It's weird.
Weirder than you?
Very weird. So weird, it's either genius or another trap.
Another trap. My hopes sink.
It might be a meditation room of some sort, and it's warm, but it might be a trap.
Warm. My focus sharpens. I need to dry Sharael off, tend to her wound. The water is killing her. But I hesitate. Another trap.
It's a cauldron full of hot rocks, I think. A brazier, maybe? It catches a drip of oil from the ceiling, causing a flare every few minutes. If something upstairs is leaking, this might be their way of handling it.
Why not just set out an empty keg and swap it regularly?
Too much bother. At this rate, someone would need to come down every day or so. Cumbersome. Forget once, and it could be a big mess. Or maybe it's just a weird meditation room. Or it might be a trap.
I sigh. I need to see it. We can't fall for another trap.
Fall for a trap? Good one. 'Cause, you fell in that last one. Hey, don't run off yet. You made it all the way to the end, and that means you owe me at least 5 shiny stars. Go on, click it. I'll wait. And while you're at it, share this episode with your friends. Or your enemies. I'm not picky. Enemies are better listeners anyway, 'cause they don't trust you. If you like this chaos, and you did, admit it. Head over to my lair, mikecarmel.ca. Then hit the other lair at www.patreon.com/c/Dark Razor Chronicles. This one's more like our bat lair. Oh yeah, real nifty place. I keep hearing all these adventures of ours from the future. I mean, I ain't even lived them yet, and I know what's gonna happen. Though I guess it ain't all my lair now. I have to share it with my friends. Can you believe it? Whoever heard of sharing your lair with friends? I mean, sure, you can play darts and pin the tail on Sharael, so I guess it isn't all that bad. But when a fella wants to just strip down and lie about all relaxed and exposed, well, you need a crowded pub for that. The downside is I gotta share all my coin with them now. Split 3 ways. And I did a lot of the work in that one. Unbelievable! She gets the shiny bits, he gets the glory, and I get this bad case of fleas or something. Dunno, but it reminds me of the time Tanbar sprayed centaur piss all over me. Itched like a demon's breakfast then, too. You know, I was always planning to go to the archive. Just me, a few snacks, a maze full of orcs. Then the humans show up and suddenly I'm in charge? Well, in charge of first aid, navigation, and even morale. Do I get thanks? No, I get stepped on. So go on, toss a coin to your favorite talking catastrophe. Leave some stars, drop a comment, or send snacks, especially snacks. I'm really taken with dill pickles lately. Until next time I catch you crawling around in here, stay sneaky, stay curious, and remember, never trust a hallway with too many teeth. I mean, if you see a hallway with teeth, where the hells are you? What's that? Play the soundtrack? It's in my contract? Oh, I see.